to the podcast. Today we have the wonderful Suzanne Packer, and I'm going to say, I think all of you that have been following the podcast over the years realize that I only ever interview the people that I really love, and I am a bit of a fan, so I'm not going to pretend not to be excited. Okay, welcome to the show, Suzanne. How are you?
I'm very well and a bit overwhelmed by that introduction. Thank you. I'm very flattered.
Oh no, I've
Got a
been
bit hot.
following the career not probably from the very beginning, but from you came into one of my favorite programs, Casualty. Yes,
Fantastic. Which
yes.
is a
And
long
then
time ago now.
a long time ago, yes, it is. It is actually.
Yes. Yep.
Um, and what I've found is there's a wonderful train of my events that have come because I was watching it from the very beginning with Robson Green.
Wow. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I was seeing a trail of all my wonderful artists coming through, yourself, Martina Laird, Kwame, Ellen, and of course Chucky, who's in it now, Charles Ben.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, well, I don't watch it that much now, but it seems to be a fraternity of you guys that have come through Casualty.
So why don't you watch it now? Is there a reason or
Because I'm always attending events with you guys.
oh, that's a very good reason. That's a very
Exactly,
good reason.
Um, but yeah, it was one of my favorites from the very beginning. And
Yeah.
of course, then I see you popping up in things like Midsummer Murders and
Yes.
all of my favorite programs.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
it's
Brilliant.
lovely to actually speak to you in person. And I let me tell you guys, I got my personal hug at the Theatre Awards, Black British Theatre Awards. Personal hug. You can see the photo on socials. Yes, with this lady here. Okay.
Oh, that's great. That's
So how
great.
have you been?
I've been well. I'm trying to stay nice and positive because I find that I'm a bit of a one for suffering with, the seasonal affected thing. I
Yeah.
like sunlight, I like light, and I really feel a difference. So I do try and go out, even if it's rainy and cloudy,
Like
just to
today.
get very much like today. So yeah, I do try and stay out as much as I can to keep my mood up. I mean, funnily enough, when I was doing Casualty back in Bristol, we were in, I don't know if did you ever get to go to the set or
No,
to where we
unfortunately,
filmed?
I was never.
No. Next time.
Next
But yeah,
time.
we were indoors. It was sort of like a warehouse, and within the warehouse, we had like little pods, which was sort of like it's hard to describe. So they're sort of pods within the whole space. So you didn't have any daylight. You didn't have windows to the
Natural
outside.
daylight.
No natural light. And I found that I ended up having to buy all of these, they're called sad lamps. I don't know if you've come across them,
I've heard of
because I
them,
was
yes.
finding I was losing my energy and then I realized, oh, I'm quite
Isn't that something
sensitive.
called SAD? Is that what it's
Yes,
abbreviated to,
seasonal
an acronym?
affected disorder.
Right.
So I'm a bit partial to that. So I'm one for light, and I think that's why I like hot climates
Well, I
where
mean,
there's
I
a
did
lot of
see you in
sun.
October and you look pretty radiant then, but maybe you were just putting it on for the evening, but then
Well,
went
to
back
be
to your
honest,
cocoon.
well, it's a mixture. There was a lot of inner light because I had such a lovely time. I really loved it, and those events are so great in a way because you don't always see people. You can have years and years without seeing a group of people that at one stage you might have hung out with quite a lot. And life
Yeah,
takes you all over the place and
exactly.
your paths don't cross. So it was such a lovely evening. I had such a great time,
Yeah,
even though I
everybody
didn't
catching. I
win.
mean, what a great creation and something that's actually
Oh,
really needed.
yes.
And it's the first time that I've ever attended, but I think it's been going 7 years or something like that.
Yes, I
Um,
think so. First time for me as well, actually.
right. And
Yeah.
then when you see the caliber of people up there, you're thinking, it's great that it has been created, but it shouldn't have to be created. They should be included in the if I'm not speaking out of turn, but they should be included in the mainstream, in the regular awards ceremonies.
Yeah.
So, it begs
Yeah.
the question, why in 2025 is there still a need for a separate,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
again, me speaking out of turn, I think, well, how much have we really moved forward if you're still having to do that?
It's separate. Well, I suppose there's two arguments to that. The fact that there are people like Omar and Dean in Birmingham who created the MVisa Awards for the same reasons, about
Yeah.
representation and about, really getting recognized for the great work that you do. And the MVisa Awards, I don't know if you ever went to them or
No, I've
came
never
across
been,
them.
but I know of them.
Oh, they were
Yeah.
amazing. And Dean's last name has just gone out of my head, but it'll come back. But again, for those same reasons, representation to enable us to really celebrate, what we're fantastic at, and to come together and, camaraderie and all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there's that, the fact that, as you say, they are necessary and they are
Yeah.
very soul enhancing. But the wonderful thing is there are great people who put their necks out to make these events happen. And I'm not that person. I think I always feel I'm a bit better follower than I'm a leader. So when those people do, go for it and say, right, I'm going to do it and lead
Yeah.
it, I just have the utmost praise and appreciation for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And
Brilliant.
you just think, how can I support it to go further? So you
100%.
will be in attendance and you will reach out to Omar and say, well, listen, what can I do? Is there anything, I can do to help enhance it? Because
Yes.
as you said, it's an amazing event.
Yes.
The caliber of artists being recognized, phenomenal.
Yeah. And also, I think it's for us to make it special as well, not for somebody outside to say how special. And that's why it was so, like, everybody had really turned up, great
Yeah.
outfits and
Turned up and turned
looking
out.
absolutely looking great. And that says it's something that we want
Yeah.
to really shine. We want to shine and not apologize for our greatness.
Yeah, exactly. And not dumb it down, give
No.
it as much reverence as all the others.
100%. And that has to come from us.
Absolutely. Can't be
Yeah.
dependent on other people to always do stuff on your behalf. You have to at least dip your toe in the water and try and and do it. So, and I think it's quite a big undertaking for him to do that.
Oh,
Obviously,
amazing.
he has a
I mean,
team, but
obviously he has a great team,
yeah,
but that inspirational leadership is, that's the catalyst, isn't it? And you
yeah,
ignite that fearlessness in other people. Um, yeah. And also, Barrie, who doesn't need an opportunity to dress up? I mean, we don't have enough opportunities to dress up. So it's great. Otherwise, one day just becomes like another day, another
another,
day, another
yeah,
day. To have
absolutely.
those highlights in your calendar, it's brilliant,
Well, I've
brilliant.
always taken Vivienne Westwood's advice when she says, if you're unsure, overdress. So,
You know what? I've never heard that, but what a great saying.
yeah,
And interestingly, I've always said if I had the funds to just dress in one designer and you only could choose the one, it would be Vivienne Westwood.
well, look at that.
How
Out of the
interesting.
ether came Vivienne Westwood from nowhere.
Oh I love her stuff. I
Yeah,
know she's sadly passed now, but oh goodness, really
yeah,
great
Vivienne
design.
Westwood. If you're in doubt, overdress. So
If you're
that's
in
it.
doubt, you know what? I'll have it on the podcast. I'll remember. If you're in doubt, overdress. Yeah,
For
overdress.
future reference.
Yes, yes,
So tell me, where
absolutely.
did the acting start for you?
It's a bit of a cliche, I think. School.
From
Um,
school.
yeah,
So
I
it
was.
was always an interest of yours from school days.
Well, no, it wasn't so much that it was an interest. I think it's again, what we talk about when we say we build a community, and the community, I know there's always the nature nurture argument, but I went to a school where they prize the arts. They prize performance and singing. I mean,
Mm.
I'm from Wales. My
I
background is
love the accent, by the way.
yeah, that's
It's
my
still
my
there. I
Welsh
love it.
accent, absolutely, and it's more than ever now. But so there's an institution called the Eisteddfod, and it's from very, it's Welsh culture. And
Right.
basically, it's a celebration on the 1st of March every year, and it happens all over the country. And it's art based. It can be any of the arts, and there's a competition element as well. So the best singers compete, the best dancers, the best whatever. And so as I was brought up here, it's part of my world. And so uh, we had the celebration, and I was encouraged. Somehow music teacher picked up on my voice and said, "Oh, Suzanne, I think you should do the singing competition in the Eisteddfod for this particular year." And I did, and I sang, which I've forgotten his name. Oh, um, Demis Roussos's song. It was big in the charts at the time.
Ever and
Sitting in
ever.
the sun, waiting for a senorita to. Do you
All
know that one? It was a
right.
big hit. It was a big
Yes.
hit, and I got it off the radio, and I learned the all the lyrics, and I decided I was going to sing this, and I won the competition.
Right.
And then, as the story goes, I was seen in school as a performer, and then I would do the school musicals every year, and so that was my way in. It wasn't acting; it was actually singing, because
All
singing
right.
in Wales, I mean, it is
Now,
again
we
another
didn't know
cliche.
that Suzanne Packer had
Yeah,
that
it was.
string to her bow. See, you
Well,
find things
maybe
out.
it's very rusty now, but that was my first sort of entry into performing,
Right.
and ironically, even though I'm known as an actor, I think one of the reasons I've had the longevity in the industry is because whereas some of my friends who didn't sing, it meant that they had fewer opportunities to keep working. Whereas
Right.
because I also sang, it meant I could also go out for musicals. So the first 4 years of my career was pretty much musicals and plays in
Right.
theatre and not
Did you
television.
dance as well or sing and acting?
Well, I sang first and then the acting came, but because of musicals, you have to dance.
You
But I
sing like a
always used,
tap girl to me.
well, I've had my moments, but I would never be able to go out for dance audition.
Right.
But it was always, I always used to think, as long as I've got a great choreographer to make me look good on the top, from here up, then whatever was going on in the
Which is
feet,
what they're
I could.
supposed to do.
Exactly. And I was very fortunate to work with very, very good choreographers. So yeah, I would never call myself a triple threat and by any means,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
singing was the way in, and then the acting, straight acting took over.
It's funny because a lot of the older generation of actors, you found out that they could actually sing and dance as well. And I'm talking like the old vintage, like Joan Crawford could dance. She was no great
Yeah.
singer,
She
but she could
started as a
dance, an
dancer.
actress. And Mickey Rooney,
Yes.
James Cagney was a phenomenal dancer. You realize
Phenomenal
that they had
dancer.
the whole myriad, acting,
Yeah.
singing, dancing. And somewhere
Yes.
along the lines, people started to specialize
Yeah.
more
Well,
in
I
their
don't know if
field.
it's by choice though, because sadly this industry, it's not like most jobs where you start here and then you go up, 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 every
Yeah.
promotion. It's job in actors when the jobs come up, and so you find, I mean, I think from that point of view, we're very adaptable, we're very resilient because it's okay, well, like I said, I can't find a straight theatre, drama, or television job. Oh, well, I know there's this musical. Let me get some singing lessons and get my voice back in shape to go up for that.
Right.
So I think it's not so much that we specialize. I just think that we I don't know. what's it when they say shape shifting,
Shape shift,
uh,
yeah,
shape
according to what's
shifting.
available.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that what's that cliche was when people say, you know, they go for an interview and they say, "Can you ride a horse?" And they go, "Yes." And then they get the job, and then they have to go and
And get
get on
riding
a
lessons.
horse for the first time. I mean, it's that classic.
Yeah, exactly. Then
Yeah.
realize you're allergic to horses and you get on the horse
Oh
and you
yeah,
come up in hives.
yeah. Or morbidly fearful of them. But yeah, but
So that's where it kind of started for you.
yeah,
And well, Reki Aola is Welsh as well.
she
Did
very
your
much
paths
is.
cross early on or later on in your careers?
Well, it's interesting. I think our paths crossed earlier on for her in her career because I'm a little older than Reiki.
Okay.
And so we first acted, and I've said this actually to her, and I've said it publicly. We did a television series called Tiger Bay,
I
and it
remember
was
that.
set in Wales,
Yeah.
and we were both in, and that was the first time I worked with her. And bizarrely, I played her cleaner, which is she was very, very upper middle class, very posh, and I was very, very working class, playing her cleaner, just trying to do my best and keep my family together. And I do remember when I worked with her. So I'd done mostly, it was probably my very early on in my television career, but I'd done a fair bit of theatre before. And I do remember how I wouldn't use the word intimidated, but pretty close, how good she was. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this this woman can act. Even
Yeah.
then, I knew there was something her, and I put it down to she's totally in the moment when she works. So she's always, it's a very generous, you're together in that scene. She's very generous in that regard. And also she has a beautiful stillness, which I think is a real core quality of good actors. Um, yeah, so I do. So yes, so that was the first time ever I worked with Reiki, and
Right.
that would have been in the 80s, late 80s, maybe,
Okay.
maybe
Because
early
she came
90s.
onto my
Could be early
radar with
90s.
Holby City.
Right. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just remember her literally having this breakdown in the office behind the blinds. And from
Right.
then I was hooked. And
Yeah.
again,
But
she
I think
pops
she'd
up
had a
in.
pretty, sorry.
No, go ahead. She had
No,
a
I was just
pretty.
saying, I think she'd had a pretty big screen career before
Right.
Holby. Oh, yeah. Pretty big screen career before.
Right.
I don't think that many people know how much, certainly screens she's done, and pretty high profile.
Yeah.
So by the time she sort of got to Holby, she's very, very, very seasoned actor.
Established. Yeah.
Established,
Established.
yeah.
I've seen her a lot in stage plays, of course.
Yeah.
But and then she pops up in my programs like Vera and I always it's so strange. I always have a sense of pride when I see somebody that I know and I've interviewed and you've got
Yeah.
an association with. You feel a sense of
Yeah,
pride
of
that
course.
yeah, you got that. I'm glad to see that you got
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And
And of
she is
course, she's
very
gone on to,
yeah,
she
she's gone on
started
to
her own
do
company. Yeah, she's a
yeah,
producer now, is executive producer. And that's the other thing, it's sort of what I was saying, that because it's such a, oh gosh, a precarious profession,
profession,
that
yeah.
you have to be resilient and you have to always sort of be creative, okay, because we've all got to pay our bills. So, she's gone ahead, she's producing her own stuff. I mean, really, she's pretty
Yeah,
much a
and I think that's
trailblazer.
the thing because you just have to keep doing lots of different things as you're going through your career because it's only when you look back you realize I've done all of that. But at the time, you feel like, oh, well, it's not necessarily what I wanted to do, but
Yeah,
and you do it reluctantly and resentfully. But but it's, you just have to keep doing and keep creating, and as
Yeah.
you said, be resilient and not give up
Yeah.
when things don't necessarily happen the way you would like.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that because I sometimes teach at Royal Welsh College down here, and when these young actors are always saying, "Oh, I can't work and there's no work," and then they end up doing, like you say, a job that they really don't want to do.
Yeah,
But the one thing for us, I think, which is it's a sort of silver lining, is that life experience you will always use, even if it's a tiny part of it, in your a role.
yeah,
Nothing is ever wasted. You know, if you had to act, I don't know, adult carer, whatever you might have had to draw out in yourself, you might think later on, oh, this particular character reminds me of what I needed to do or feel to be able
right.
to make the character very human
Yeah,
and real. So
absolutely.
nothing's wasted for us. We might
But
hate
the thing
what
is,
we're having
you
to
have to have
do.
a certain kind of mindset to see it that way.
Yes,
And
yes,
that is the positive mindset that you have to have. If you don't have
yes,
that positive mindset, it's going to be
yeah,
constantly a downward thing. So you have to have the positive mindset of as in, well, this might be useful later. And I always
yes.
remember Anne Mitchell saying that she went for an audition way, way, way back when, and she said that the part was so, it wasn't of her caliber, and she was feisty about it, and she let them know, and she
Hmm.
left the audition. And years later, the director called for her because of how she reacted in the audition back in the end of the 60s, early 70s. Now, can you imagine that moment followed her for like 20 years, 15
Yeah, yeah,
years,
yeah.
and became useful then?
Yes, yes. And that is so common. And I always, and again, as I've said to students, that, every sort of engagement, if it's an audition or a chance meeting with a director or another actor, I mean, it sounds a bit cynical, but it's still a potential audition,
Yeah,
because you don't know, like you've just described with Anne, that when they go, oh, I remember that, and she did this and she did this. So sometimes I've always felt this, that the best thing you can do is do your best, especially with auditions.
yeah, that's
And if you don't get that job, what they'll do is remember that you did your best. You might not be the right person for that particular character at that time or that job, because
yeah,
you might be the right person for the character, but you might not be the right person for the job. And I say that it's very specific when I say that, because a casting director or director, producer, they're having to do a lot of matching. It isn't just, if you're the fortunate one that you are the linchpin, so they've already know they want you, and then everything else has to match with you,
yeah.
then
That's a very
you're home.
fortunate position to be in.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that. But 9 times out of 10, you're not. And so they're having to also go, oh, but if we put this husband, but would that husband, would that character, would that daughter, would that boss, would whatever that has to sort of be in the
Yeah,
universe of that character. So it isn't always that you're not the best person. And it
yeah.
isn't always that you're not the best actor, even. It's just that when the whole jigsaw puzzle gets put together, your piece doesn't
Doesn't
fit.
quite, yeah, fit in.
But if you've done your best and you've given it everything you could, you were true to the character, you made the decisions that you felt were right, at some point they're going to go, well, I remember that actor because that actor was a good actor.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
very
well,
much
yeah. And
that
again, I bring it back to that positive mindset that
yes,
nothing's wasted. And if you're good,
nothing's
you're good.
wasted. Nothing's wasted.
You
Yeah,
might not be good for that particular situation, but if you're
yeah,
good and you know your craft, you're good. And
yeah,
I think it does equip you with a lot of resilience for life in general.
100%.
Because the rejection, you can't take it on board. You have to let it go and move on to the next thing.
And the other thing is, it's never, I always think, I mean, it's different if you're running a race. Obviously, the winner is the winner. The first past the post, the longest, highest, whatever. But in our business, even if you're second choice, you could be the winner. And I'll give you an example of exactly that. I went up many, many moons ago. Do you know a program called Brookside?
Yes.
So I went up for Brookside and to play, she was quite they would call it a bit of a scally. She was, dodgy deals maybe, but hard worker, lovable, but, very flawed kind of character. And I traveled all the way from Wales to London and to Liverpool for the interview. I didn't get it. And I literally, this doesn't happen anymore. I'm much more seasoned, but I literally, I wouldn't say depressed, but I got really low. I was so gutted. I was really disappointed. Didn't get it. Oh, I went home, I think, to my parents. I was living in London then, but I went to my parents to just, cry and be miserable. Anyway, weeks went by and suddenly my agent says, oh, they want to see you again. So I'd already been told I didn't get the character, didn't get the part. And I later found out, and I got it the second time, and I later found out that the person who was offered the part didn't take it.
Right.
And I was second choice. But you know what? I was the best.
You were the winner.
For that. So that's the other side of sometimes second choice isn't some kind of rejection.
Second, it's first.
It's the first. And when I think about that character now, she was one of the best characters I think I've ever played. And I had such a wonderful time. I learned a lot about television acting. I made some great friends who I'm still, we're talking 40 years ago now.
Wow, is it as long as that?
It's the early 90s. That's always fortified me that if I don't get it the first time, okay. And it's happened since also that I wasn't first choice.
Yeah, because you had a really good run in Casualty, didn't you? You were in it for a while.
Yeah, just under 13 years. Yeah.
That's a long run.
It was a long run. It was a lovely long run. Oh yeah, I'm very grateful to Casualty. Yeah, it's great. Brilliant.
Oh, look, I can see you reminiscing now, going back.
And again, one of the loveliest things, I think one of my closest friends in the world I met on Casualty. Okay. I mean, the job is great, obviously, and it's lovely to be in a show that's so loved and highly regarded. But the other side is it becomes, when you are a character, not a recurring character, but when you're one of the main characters, after a while it's a job. It's not even 9 to 5, it's 7 to 7, and sometimes 6 days a week. It's long. And of course, when it's a medical drama, it's a lot of work learning the lines because you're almost learning like another language. So it can be tough. But at the same time, that the work around the sort of the world around it, for me anyway, was glorious. I made wonderful friends who are still friends today. And I would say, in my inner circle friends, not just, occasionally.
Yeah, you could actually see there was a level of camaraderie. You could actually sense it from watching it. You could sense that you guys actually were kind of friends.
That's good. That's good.
To act with somebody that you hated, or if it was, it never showed. But it really.
That's
showed.
Even better.
Then you're a really good actor.
Oh yes. There's lots of moments.
Yes, well, I'm
Yeah.
sure you had some of those in your lifetime. You
Oh
don't need to
yes. Oh
mention them.
yes. I mean, it's being human, I'd say.
And that's when the real acting skills come in, let
That's
me
when the
tell
real
you.
life skills. But as you say, but in all walks of life,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
many people have to work with people? Like, I mean, for us, we're jobbing actors, so we're in and out, and it's obviously for a contract. But I can imagine if you have to work with somebody for 20 years or something that you've never, oh,
What, do I
that
actually have to
might,
talk to this person politely and not strangle them? Is this
oh
what you want me
God,
to do?
absolutely. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's as much acting as probably any of us who are paid for it have to do. Yeah,
So tell
absolutely.
me about the BB crew, because we can't talk to this lady and not talk about the BB crew.
Oh, the BB Crew. Oh gosh, it's so. I mean, whenever I hear the phrase, just the name, the BB Crew, I almost want to grab my heart really because it's such a. we- Well, we got together because well, I'm sure you know the story. It was just happenstance. Sadly, a member of our community had died in an accident very prematurely, and there was a benefit put on for him and his family, and people very 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 graciously, generously performed on this one night. And somehow, and even now, we all get together, Bev, Judith, me, and Suzette. We'll get together and we'll go, how did it start? It's sort of like we all have
Yeah,
different, it's what do they say? Your truth, my truth, and the truth. But somewhere along the
yeah.
line, we've got, we agree on certain,
Your version, my
yeah,
version, and the truth. Yeah.
exactly. But that version is true. We got together as part of the benefit, and we did just a sketch. It was a comedy sketch where we had to mime and do silly dancing, and it went down a storm. And at the same time, the posse, who you probably know and have, so they were sort of a male group, black, again, like us, Black British, um, I think as well, all first generation
Right.
um, British, and I think all of us are Caribbean background heritage.
Yeah.
And so they were doing their thing and they were literally going down a storm. And then whoever, and this is the part that gets a bit grey, I think it was Beverley Michaels said, well, why are the boys just doing it? We can do that. Let's do it. Let's get together. So the original lineup was seven. Um, uh, Janet Kay, Judith Jacobs, Suzzette Llewellyn, Beverley Michaels, Josephine Melville, myself, and Joanne Campbell.
Right.
And that was the original lineup. And we pretty much put together a show. We devised it with the essential support of Stratford East Theatre Royal Philip Headley, who had also supported the posse, the boys sort of version.
Yeah.
And we put together the show, and it was received beyond belief. I mean, to this day, and we're talking early-ish 90s, I've had people say to me, they will quote lines from the show, and they were young people who were brought by my peers. So they were
Right.
the kids brought by their mums who would be sort of my age, and telling us that came to see the show twice. I mean, I worked with Azuka Oforka. I don't know if you no, she is a very up and coming playwright. She won the stage new playwright. I haven't got that right, but she won an award for her play Women of Llanrumney.
Right.
And she has reminded me um, that she came to see uh, the BB Crew on a level when she was a child. And I have recently worked with her as obviously in her play. She was also in Casualty. I can't remember. She
The
played,
character.
her character would have been, she started off as a receptionist, very, very sort of matter of fact, no nonsense.
I remember her. Yes, I remember her.
Yes,
I
so
do.
that's Azuka.
Right. I
So
remember her.
Yes. So yes, so that's the BB crew. And sadly, Joanne has died and Josephine,
Josephine, yeah.
Josephine,
I was just thinking that there's two of them then that have gone.
yeah. Um, so there's not a moment where we don't. I mean, it's still very, very, yeah, still very raw, really. Um, but we always make efforts to stay in touch. We don't, we, that, I don't know, we're sisters from another mother. We really are. And yeah, it's a fantastic, if I was to write a memoir, there'd be many pages on the BB crew.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
fond, yeah, a fond time of your career.
Oh, and but again, it's like I keep saying, I don't know whether I'm being just particularly nostalgic today or sentimental, but it's the work which is good work. We made people laugh. We because we also toured. We did it. We did Theatre Royal Stratford East, but we also went to America. We went to New York. We toured in the UK. So we made our mark professionally, but beyond that, the friendships and
Yeah,
we've been in each other's lives so much, good and obviously very bad time. Because at the end of the day, that's what you really remember. That's what really,
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
acts of kindness and being there for each other. Um, so yeah, very, very
You seem a
phenomenal.
very spiritual person.
Yes, do I?
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yes,
And
yeah.
there's that, yeah, that kindness and loving kindness that you even portray in your characters usually.
Yes, I want to break away from that. I want to be bad.
No, I don't think we want. So we'd just be looking, going, "What is she doing?" No,
Oh
that is
no,
that
no.
is not what we
Uh,
want. We
I
cannot
think
see
most
you as a
actors want to
murderer.
play a character who's
Although that would be
really.
great. Become a
Oh,
murderer in a part. That's fantastic.
okay.
Complete change of character.
Wouldn't
You know,
that
we
be
know you
good?
as the nurse and the
Wouldn't
caring
that be
one and
good?
always giving good
Yeah.
advice. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I know.
See you
Yeah.
standing up in a wardrobe with a knife as a murderer. It would be quite exciting, I
I
guess.
could do that. I could do that. Yeah. I
Exactly.
know. Yeah.
But what I
Stretched.
do love is, I have to say, with you actresses, there's
Yeah.
a sisterhood of support. And I've got that from each one of you. Annie Domingo, Martina
Oh,
Laird, Ellen, you know, every time I speak to you guys, it really is about the sisterhood and the support of each other. And you know what? I've got an audition, a casting, we're going. And if I get the part, it's great. If you get the part, it's great. If I don't get the part, I'm not mad because one of my sisters has got the part.
mm, mm, mm. But it's like, I mean, and I do think I mean, obviously, I'm not a white woman, so I can't speak for that compliment, but I think it's particularly true with us as black actors here in the UK. And I think it stems from a belief that, and it's something that Kerry Washington, the African American actor, I don't know if you ever come
Yeah.
across Kerry Washington, but
Yeah, of
she
course.
always says, there's more than one bright star in the sky. So I'm not competing against any of the other BB crew. I'm not competing against all of those wonderful actors you've just described,
Yeah.
Reiki, Annie, Martina. I'm doing what I do. And, we can all go up, we could all play Cleopatra and Shakespeare, let's say. No one's going to be best, but we play it the
They'll all be
way
different.
we play
Mhm.
it. We play it as long as we honor the play and the character's journey, but we'll all be different and
Yeah.
we'll all be our unique selves. So in that regard, I feel there's no need to compete. And actually, I love that idea that you can't have a starry sky without many
Many
that
stars.
firmament,
Exactly.
you know.
But I think that especially with the Black community, is something that we have to deal with, because you have been pitted against each other
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
careers, and
Yeah.
not just in acting, all the way through. Well, we've already got one, so we can't have more. So as Black actors, actresses, dancers, models, whatever it is, you're fighting a different fight, because whereas the others, you'll have a whole cast of white actors and
Yes.
actresses.
Yes.
They'll say, but there's only apart from one or two of you, so we've got one. So that kind of if you're weak-minded, which none of you all are, because that's where the sisterhood comes in. But if you're weak-minded, it is, well, I better go to this audition on my own and not let them know, because
But I think that was more prevalent back when I first started, because there were fewer roles. Or not fewer roles, because there's always lots of roles, fewer opportunities, or where the mindset, as you said, let's do the token one actor. We can't have it just a white cast. We've got to have,
at least
but
one.
I do think at least one. And I do think that is changing. And I think it's also changing in many ways, in that, because you've got, we've already said, Azuka is writing plays where she's, centering the Black experience. So of course you're going to have to, you've got Martina the same, Pamela Nomvete, Annie. And that in a way is where we get the opportunities, as much as, instead of waiting for the white fraternity to decide when and where, when we are telling our own stories and we center the Black experience, it enables so many more opportunities, obviously. So I think that's a big change. And Reiki, it makes, and I think that's the key for me. That is my biggest, strongest, I suppose, if I was to stand on a soapbox, give us more opportunities. Because with the opportunities, you grow, you learn, you can get better. I'm not the same actor I was when I was doing Brookside. I've got 30 plus years of development. But if I don't get the opportunity, then it's hard. I can't be a better actor just sitting in my house. I mean, I do
you have to put yourself out there.
I need the forum, I need the environment. And that's where I think, there are great people. That's, we've listed so many already today who are going, well, I will create that environment for people who look like me to shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But going back to Wales, there is is it a theatre company that Reiki is really championing?
Oh, well, Reiki is so omnipresent. She does a lot of charity work also. She has her own, my memory for things, her own production company, with her husband, with Adam. But she also produces on other productions that are not just generated by theirs. But in Wales, I'm not so
the
sure.
other day I saw something. She was at a theatre, and that famous Welsh actor that went to the States was in Brothers and Sisters. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Matthew Rhys.
That's the one. Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think she's a patron of several theatre companies as well. So of course, you always try and promote their stuff as well. But I'm not sure. She just recently, now there's another person that has hidden talents. She just did Candide with the Welsh National Opera, and she sang amazingly. But I think her work, I don't think it's just in Wales. She I would say actor will travel,
Actor will travel, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Actor will travel.
But no, I love that she still champions Wales and the talent
she's
in
an
Wales.
Ely girl.
That's what I mean. She's really, come and see the play if you can. Come to the theatre company if you can. She
Yeah.
still champions Wales. She hasn't
Oh,
forgotten
yeah.
Wales.
Oh, no. She will describe herself, self-described Ely girl, which is a part of Cardiff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So what's in store for the wonderful Suzanne at the moment?
Oh, wow. Wow. The thing that I'm working on taking up more of my time recently has been our podcast.
Right.
We
Yes,
are on the
with the other
podcast
Suzanne.
with the other Suzzette, with
Suzette. Okay.
lovely Suzzette Llewellyn. So that's
Llewellyn.
the big thing. So I'm not sure if you know that during the pandemic, we became co-editors, authors on a book called
All right.
Still Breathing 100 Voices. And I'm going to very boldly grab
Bring it
it.
up. How do you bring it up? Let's
Well,
see.
so I don't know if is that showing or
No,
not
it's
showing? If
gone
I put
blurred.
here,
No, can't see
oh,
it. It's
it's
gone.
quite hard to
Okay, there we go. That's it.
Oh, that's a good place.
That's a good, perfect. Still breathing. 100%.
100 voices.
100 Black voices on racism. Okay. So let's
So
know
that,
about this.
oh my goodness, this is we put this together. It was a response to George Floyd's murder.
All right.
So it was quite, again, you know, the BiBi crew will always shine in pretty much every chapter of my life. We obviously were all on our own, stuck in our homes, wherever we were.
Yeah.
And we got online like we're doing now. And we just talked about how we felt. We shared, it just opened up a massive conversation on racism in a way that we'd never done before, given that we'd already known each other for 30 odd years. And we had never, but I think the timing and what was going on in the wider world, all the Black Lives Matter protests and just watching the murder, all of those. And so suddenly we were revealing things that we'd never, ever told each other.
Right.
And then Suze and I, after we got through that bottle of wine and said bye, as probably a lot of other people, we then got together just independently, again online, because obviously we're still on lockdown. And we basically said, well, the one thing about the BiBi crew has always been, we talk, but then what are we going to do with the talk?
Yeah.
So we might have an idea for a sketch, but let's get it on its feet. Let's create something from all of these stories we just, and that's basically why the book came about. The book came about because
well, a sketch is something quite different from a book. A book takes a lot of time. That's a whole different thing.
There you go, Barrie. We were so ignorant we didn't know. But you know what's so
great? No
great?
easy feat.
100%. But what was so wonderful was we were so ignorant, we decided to do it. I think if we knew how hard it was going to be, we wouldn't have started it. And we've all said that. And the same with podcasting, because I'm sure you feel the same. At the beginning, you think, oh, I'm just talking to people. But it comes with a whole universe. And so did the book. So we invited 98 other people to send us their stories on racism, how racism had impacted them.
Oh, right.
And we looked at it we were very prescriptive. We asked them to describe the situation, whichever way they wanted. It could be a story, it could be a poem. We weren't, that dictatorial.
Yeah.
But we also wanted it to be about who are you, because despite and with it, and why you are such an amazing person. So we didn't want it just to be a dirge
of misery.
100%.
Yeah.
And we got 100 people. And we got our
And how did you go about getting that story out there to get the stories? How did you go about doing that?
Well, it took a lot of work. So basically, because we already had our other BiBi crew members, we started there, and we basically said we don't want it just to be actors. We wanted we wanted stories from the wider community,
representative of the community across the board. Yeah,
absolutely. So we obviously we know a lot of people. Then it was Judith knows a lot of people. Then my mum knows a lot of people. My aunt, my teachers know a lot of people. So we spread. And I would say between us all, I would say we probably contacted well over 300 people.
Wow.
And there were some people, you know, Barrie, that, and I've got a person in mind who's very, very well known, very, very well known. And I'm not going to mention her name, but her experience of racism and her family's experience was still so traumatizing that she said, I don't want to be in the book. It wasn't
Really?
that she supported the book, but she didn't want to include her story. So there was as many people who, for pretty similar reasons, didn't want to be in the book, and we do address that in our forward.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, we managed to get this wonderful group of people. I mean, it's so far ranging. Oh my goodness, artists, educators, scientists. And so we really spread far and wide. And we then decided, and this was the funniest thing, in our ignorance, you remember that ignorant thing?
Yeah.
You know, oh, we're going to put it together. Yeah, we're going to do that. So we thought, oh, let's just self-publish. Let's just find out how we get it. Let's, you know, get online, do our research. And we were all ready to do that, thinking that's the only way. We don't know anything else. And then Suze had the most amazing idea. She said, I'm sure there's one of the parents who has something to do with publishing, one of the
Publishing.
parents in her, you know, where her daughter goes to school. So Sue said, "Do you know what, I'll just ask her. I'll ask her if she's got any tips how to self-publish, you know." And this wonderful lady turned out to be a commissioner for Harper Collins, the publishers.
Things coming from the universe.
Now, talk about how the mystic world and the law works. Sue pitched it to her. So we'd already had a pitch document, and because we knew, and we'd already had some of the stories in, and we also had written our stories first, and that was to give everybody a flavor of what we were looking for. So we sent this to her, gave this to her, and she said immediately, this is a legacy book and we will publish.
It's
And
beautifully put
it's
together as well, you can see.
beautiful. I mean, it's on highest quality paper. We've got amazing photographs to go with all our contributors. And
Also, the contributors are photographed in there as well.
yes, so you see
It's
them
beautifully put
all.
together.
But it's a beautiful book, beautiful book. And this is our hard copy, so it's very solid. And it just opened up this world that we didn't know. We even were invited to the Hay Festival to promote
Really?
the book.
Wow.
I mean, it was yes, it just opened this world, and very, very, very well received. But the irony of it all was the timing, because we were in lockdown, so we couldn't do a lot of in-person festivals and promotion. So we had to do as much as possible online.
Online.
So that's the baby for the podcast, because the podcast was then about how do we get to know these 100 people that we only got a
Got
flavor of who
snippets
they
of
are.
from them, yeah.
And also through probably the worst possible access into somebody's life, you know, through trauma
Trauma, yeah.
and pain and suffering. So then we went, well, what about doing a podcast and asking our contributors to talk to us? Obviously, the launch pad was always, you know, why we were talking to you, which was about because you're a
Yeah.
big part of our book. But then who are you outside of those experiences? So
Yeah.
that's why we decided to do the podcast for
But
around
as you say, what's great is what have those experiences made you become? What have they made you become? And you really want to hear those positive stories, as in, well, and back to the resilience again. This happened, that happened, but how I've used it is to do this, to do that. I haven't let it make me bitter. Because as you say,
100%.
get better or get bitter.
Get that.
So
But you know, this book is now in every single high school in Cardiff,
really,
because Wales is pretty special in that Black history is now mandated in the curriculum. So it's, I mean, it's part of that. That was one of our ambitions. Again, for representation, because, you know, especially we're such a small community of the global majority in Wales,
yeah,
even though we're one of the oldest in terms of the diaspora, because obviously Cardiff is a major port, and
port, yeah,
yeah, so one of the oldest communities, but in numbers very small. So I've spoken to young people who have always felt so marginalized because they're, you know, especially in schools, there are not many people who look like them. And so it's become, I mean, Sue says, as Sue and I both agree, if you can open this book and see really beautiful, high achieving, highly respected, accomplished people, and even if there's not many people that look like you in your, you know, environment, then this book, if you can go to the school library and pick this book up,
yeah. There
that would
are
be,
people like you who have probably been through worse than you or the same and have still achieved and are still doing something
yes,
and doing something positive and constructive, you
yes,
know. So
yeah.
so let's see it again.
Right. So I was going to try and find my page while
Oh,
I
your page.
yes, I'm trying to find my
It's
page.
way worth waiting for. We'll wait.
Oh, well, isn't it funny when you want to find something quickly? And I was only looking at it this morning, which is so annoying. Um, oh dear me. Oh, there's that. Oh, I just happened to find Sharon Walters.
Okay.
And Sharon was on our podcast. She's an amazing artist. That's the only reason that I picked her out there. Ah, I'm going to be coming up. Michael Obiara. I mean, it's not obviously it's not just women. It's oh, in looking for me, I find Suzette.
Suzette, yes.
I'm going to have to go to the
It's a big book. How many pages is it?
it's in total it's 300
Yeah, it looks it's
299. It's actually 300 in total.
it's
Yeah.
a thick book,
It's a
but
thick
it's
book, but it's so beautiful.
beautiful. It's
It's
beautifully done.
such a
And
beautiful.
that's one of the privileges of having a good publisher.
It's very heavy because it's the best paper, we were told.
Yeah,
And
you can
again,
see
you
it.
know, we
It's
didn't
glistening from
realize.
here.
Yeah. But the irony is, because we didn't know that there was even this thing of the best paper and the most expensive paper, we
Yeah,
were
you
that
just thought a book
ignorant.
is just paper, just print.
It's,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's nice. Oh, here I am. There's me.
Yes.
And there's, so that was my, can you see it okay? It's very,
Expectations.
yes.
Yeah.
So my story is very much about when you're you're told that you'll never get opportunity, so lower your expectations. So
I
my
hear
story is
that a
very,
lot. I hear
yes,
that a lot, you know.
yes, yes,
People will say, you know, well, I've got aspirations to be this, or I'm inspired by so and so to become that. And I hear a lot of stories of, yeah, well, yeah, they did it, but not, I don't really think you'll get there.
lower
And I
your
mean,
expectations.
when more than then is your resilience needed and necessary? But the sad thing is, that's what can destroy some people because as a child hearing that, you don't know what resilience is, you don't know all of that. You don't know how to implement that, you know,
No,
and that's what can really destroy
yeah.
some people.
And that's absolutely because I was told, and it's in my story, that when I left drama school, you might be unemployed a lot because of my color.
Yeah.
And that pretty much was the message when I left. Expect, so basically,
Be grateful for whatever you get.
be grateful, but find something else,
Oh, wow.
whatever that's something else, because you'll be unemployed a lot. And if you need to pay bills, so, find something, because you will be unemployed a lot.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. If you don't, and that's the main thing, Barrie, if you don't have a community around you, that negates that
Yes,
message.
important.
And that's why, as I said, I'm not joking. If a young kid who looks like me and you is feeling their self-worth is so lacking, and they go into their school library and they pick up this book and they see all these amazing people, that's also your community. And, that is also
Because your community comes from wherever you can get it. It's your own personal community might not even be positive enough to get you where you need to go. They may be even still saying, well, they're right, because their mentality is what it is. They're right, so get a proper job and go and be a laborer or go and be a mechanic, because you don't want to do that because you'll be out of work a lot. So, it's scary when you actually think that you're in your environment that should be cocooning you and giving you strength and confidence are the very ones who are backing up the negativity that you're being told. So you need a book like that, because if you go home, you go home to your parents, who should be saying, well, listen, you can do anything you want. If you put your mind to it, I'm not saying there won't be obstacles, but you can do anything you want, but you have to put in the work. But if you haven't got parents like that, you need that book.
Yeah, you need this book. You need this book.
You need that book.
And the lovely thing, and this has been a lot of our feedback, is that because they're life experiences, they're not some leaflet, dry piece of writing. These are people's lives that you can relate to, real lives. So they're really, So I cannot tell you how proud I am of this book. I think I'm probably, when I think of my professional life, I think this is probably the most proudest thing I've ever been part of.
Yeah, because that's pretty big. I mean, well, of course, your acting work is there forever. It's there forever to be seen. But this is another avenue that's quite different from acting. To put a book together is really something. So congratulations to you both. And as I said, it's a beautiful book. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful
I would have
book.
to get my signed copy. I'm just putting it out there.
Put it out there. Put it out there.
I want a signed copy, because it looks like a beautiful, heavy coffee table book. Good quality.
But the other side that I feel I'm so, and Sue feels the same, is the fact that it was Cardiff government who made it possible to put it in the schools, the high schools. So again, in the same way that, yes, people who look like us, we hope we all champion each other and support each other. But I've got as many of my white friends who have bought this book and said, right, I am going to give this book to my white friends, so my white friends can understand what some Black people in this country have to live with.
Yeah.
So it isn't, do you know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
Much support.
Because
in that
of course you expect those, well, I shouldn't use the word expect, because expectations there, as you said, can lead to disappointment. But the kind of feeling is that people who are like yourself will support you. And you hope they will. But that's not necessarily going to make the change. You need to see people who don't look like you getting it.
100%.
Because the more people 100%. That don't look like you that get it are empathic, they are understanding. Well, no, I didn't necessarily experience it, but I can imagine what it would be like. And, we have to stop that. We have to change that. So it's great to see the support of people who look like you. But you also want the support of people who don't look like you, because then it's going outside of your community.
Yes.
And that's where
they might have the most power to change things and influence things, especially when you're in a minority, as we are here in Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you live in Wales. You're in Wales.
I live in Wales. Yeah.
Oh, see, she's a home girl, isn't she? Really?
Yeah.
Because you said you were in London at one stage.
Yeah, I lived in London for about, 15 years.
Right,
Yeah, I was there a lot for a long time because back in the day, and I'm sure Reiki or whoever else who's an actor would say to you who isn't from London, there was always this idea that if you're an actor, you had to be in London.
right,
And I get it because obviously most of the auditions happened there, etc., etc. And I was but I went to drama school in London, so I just stayed.
right.
But now London is a bit too big for me now. I've got a bit, I've got a bit tired. It's a bit busy for me. But I love London, but I love where I live. I love Wales. Um, so yes, and also from a professional point of view, there's not the same need because a lot happens online now. So interviews happen online, self-taping for auditions happen online.
Yeah, this
So
self-taping thing.
yeah, self-taping. So the need that now isn't as great to be in London.
Yeah,
And also, the sort of the diversification of productions. There was a time when it was like almost everything happens and is filmed in London. Now we have, the BBC dramas, a big part of the BBC drama um, side is here in Cardiff.
right.
So, Casualty is filmed in Cardiff,
Yeah,
so there's not the same need to be in
yeah.
London. And that, I mean, I was already, um, obviously I was born in Cardiff, so I knew Cardiff. So it was quite interesting when I spent 8 years commuting back and forward to Bristol. And then I'm just about thinking, maybe I want to stretch my wings a bit, or maybe I want to try another character. And then they decide to move to Cardiff. So then I stayed another 4 years because I
Right.
was thinking, how could I leave now when it's on
Exactly.
my
It's just
doorstep?
up the road.
Literally just up the road. So that was nice. So that was really nice. Um, yeah. So it's quite funny. Back in the day, people from Bristol would be going, oh, that's down my road, when they see locations. But of course, now people in Wales are going, oh, yeah, I know where they
Where
filmed that.
that
I know
is,
where
yeah,
that is.
yeah. Because the big thing was that anywhere you saw on TV that you recognized was London.
Yes, for a long time, long time. So I'm glad they're sharing the wealth, they're
Yeah.
sharing, yeah, all the benefits, so it's not which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. Yeah.
Well, I want to go back to the book one more time.
Yes.
Just let us see it again.
Okay. Right.
That's the
Is
spot right
is
there.
that the spot?
Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
good.
Still breathing 100 Black voices on racism. Now, where is this available?
Well, we have always tried, Sue and I, and Sue more of an advocate really for independent bookshops. So she will always say, go to your independent bookshop and ask them to order it.
All
But
right.
obviously,
Okay.
it is still online.
Online.
It's
And is
still
it in major
online.
bookstores
The
like,
A, the big A.
yeah, like Waterstones, or is it available there?
Yes. I mean, if it's not there, I mean, we do encourage, I mean, that's a big thing for us,
Right.
diversify, spread the wealth a little bit. If you've got a
Yeah.
lovely, and especially if it's a black owned bookshop,
Bookstore. Yeah. I
I
get
would
you.
say I would get them to order it in if it's not in. But it is available on
On all
yeah,
regular
the
platforms and
A
in the
zone.
major bookstore. Well, that's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Suzanne, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Apologies for the technical difficulties in the
Oh,
beginning, but we got there in the
listen,
end.
absolutely.
It's
I
been
hope
an
you do.
absolute pleasure talking to you and wishing you all the best with the future. And I hope to see you soon.
Yes, yes. Maybe another, we're all looking fancy
Exactly,
at
where we're
another big
dressed up
event.
fancy, we can get another lovely picture and a hug. Absolutely.
That'd be brilliant.
Thank you so much,
You
Suzanne.
take care.
All
Thank
the
you.
best. All the
Take
best.
care.
Bye.
Bye bye.